Hey everyone, and what a strange old day it's been in the markets today. It really has. We've had Tesla earnings calls, which was fun after hours. We had Netflix lost $100 off its price in one day pre-market. That's over 35%. It dropped over 35% on the day. Huge drop, and it did a similar kind of terms of dollar value drop it back in January, and then a couple of days later it had a bit of a bounce. So I'll be watching for that bounce, maybe Friday, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a strange one because with that huge drop from Netflix, we saw the whole Nasdaq drop and didn't really recover all day, and that had a wider implication on the market. So a lot of the tech stocks that follow the market, that follow the Nasdaq, uh, traded in a similar fashion. So there's a lot of selling off, not quite to the level that Netflix did, but there was a lot of selling off in the tech sector today. That being said, we still had a green day. It was almost a small red day, but it was a green day. So we traded 5 different symbols today, 4 of which were profitable for us. One of which almost wiped out the gains from first two, but we did get green. So we started off with ALVR, and ALVR was trading under the symbol ALVR, and this was gapping up pre-market. This was a gap and go for us today. It was gapping up pre-market based on it announced that the FDA granted regenerative medicine advanced therapy, which is designated for allogenic hematopoietic cell transplant patients. I hope I've pronounced that right, but that's essentially what the news was and why it was gapping up. And we traded. That was the first one that we traded. I'll go into the trades in a second. The next one we traded was a company called Terran Auto. So Terran Auto was gapping up based on Jeffrey's buy rating. So that was analyst buy rating. That's why that moved up. Then we went back to a couple of former runners. So SEV or Sono moved, and it was a recent IPO as of last Thursday, last week. But we traded it yesterday. It moved really well earlier this week for us, and we made quite a lot of money on it. And it started to move upwards. We caught it on the momentum scanners. It started to move upwards. And when it pulled back, we got a lovely bull flag set up, and it went against us. And that happened twice. And we lost all of the gains from the previous two symbols that we traded. So that was disappointing. So then we traded VERU, which has been very good to us over the last week, and we got some profits on that before the piece de resistance, as it were, on the day for us, which essentially was what gave us our profits today, and that was Tesla. So Tesla's earnings call was today. Just prior to the earnings call, they released the earnings report, and on the back of that, great numbers. And it was a good earnings call. I've just got off the back of that now. It was a good earnings call, and that moved up, and we was able to get some profits on that. So I'll go through the trades, and you can see how we've actually made profit, and I'll explain the entries and exits on it. But before I do that, remember to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And you can watch me doing this live every single day. We do go live before the market. We trade pre-market when there is enough volume and enough movement, and there is good setups pre-market. We occasionally trade pre-market, and we will be going live tomorrow, an hour before the market opens, actually 90 minutes before the market opens. So remember to join us. If you hit the notification bell, you'll get notified when I do go live. So remember to hit the notification bell and be alerted, ready to join us for our live sessions. I hope you enjoy the trades. The first trade we took was ALVR, and we got in for 5,000 shares. So pre-market we didn't take any trades. but this was consolidating sideways above the VWAP. It was gapping up on good FDA news, but into the open, slightly into the open, we were looking for some decent movement. We saw that this opening range here, we got resistance at 720, so we looked for the break of that resistance, pulled all the way back down below the VWAP before then moving up on good volume. When we got the break of that resistance, we bought in for 5,000 shares at 725. We took half of our position off here at 750, so 25 cents up on the move. We added back some more, and then we took some profit up here, and then we stopped out here at the rest of the again a little bit of a profit. It came back, and we were looking for this bull flag setup, if you will. So we saw this pullback. Next candle to make a new high was our setup, or entry point, if you will, and that's where we got in. So we got in here for our entry. We rode it up. We took some profits. It went just above $8 and was rejected. So we took some profits there. On its way back, we got stopped out for break even on the second half of our hold. And I don't think we traded that until a little bit later. We saw this move, and we got in again as pullback. We waited for it to break new highs, which it did on this candle, and we pushed the button a little bit late. Granted, we pushed the button a little bit late. It was a little over $8. I think we were waiting for the break of $8 before we got in, but we still pushed the button a little bit late. We rode it all the way up to 850, and when it started to pull back, we took some profits and then exited the position at I think 820. So again, good profitable trade. Then we moved over to Terran Orbital. And Terran Orbital moved up on the back of a good analyst rating, analyst buy rating, and we saw it moved up, but then it pulled back. So as it started to make a move up, we looked for this pull back towards the VWAP. Then we were going to make the next candle to make a new high, which was here. It was our entry point. So we entered Terran. We took 1,000 shares to start off with. And then we exited the position a little bit further up. We waited for some movement. The volume came in. We actually added for a break of the whole dollar here at $7. We added to that position at 725, and then we started taking profits up here at 763, and it pulled back. And 740 is where we exited that position. We did watch this again. It pulled all the way back, and whilst we could have got in here for the break of this high here, it was kind of 690. I didn't feel comfortable because of the whole dollar resistance level. Psychological whole dollars, half dollars, quarter dollars, are very psychological levels in trading. So I didn't feel comfortable taking a position when there was only less than 10 cents to the next resistance level. So waited for the break of $7, and we got the break of $7. It moved up like 7. But when we got the break of 710, where we took profits, and then we exited the position just under break even. So that's kind of set us up for that, and at that stage we were $4,000 to the good. We're $4,000 in profit. Happy days, relatively easy trading, good setups, and we hadn't had any problems trading those. So we went away, we closed the PC, and we came back a little bit later for power hour, and so about 3:30 market time, and we saw SEV was moving, so we jumped in for the break of highs. So we found a position. We got in a break of the whole dollar, $8, and it moved up to 8.15. I think we were looking for 20 cents on this move, and it pulled back. It was only a starter position. I think we had 1,000 shares in at this moment in time, so we didn't mind the pullback. We thought, okay, we'll add to the position for the move back up on the next candle to make a new high, which is exactly what we did. We got this pullback. We we were looking for that bull flag breakout here. So we added 5,000 shares at this level to next candle to make a new high, 790. And it completely faked us out. It went up to 794. So we only got a 4-cent movement upwards, and it pulled all the way back. So we exited that position 774. So fortunately, we got 25 cents to our detriment. And we tried again. The wider pullback, and then the next candle to make a new high, we looked to get in here. So we did. And it faked us out again, and we got out here. So at this stage, we were $4,000 up. Now we were $400 down. So we were into the red for 400. So this was not what I wanted to come back into the last hour of the market to do. You know, we've got into a good position. This should be a lesson for anybody that's watching this, that trading the markets is extremely risky. Even if you do know what you're doing, even with good setups, you get the bull flag setups like we did here, sometimes it just doesn't follow through. And that was the case here. So we got faked out a couple of times, and it cost us to our detriment because we went in with bigger size than we should have done. Later in the day, we'd already made our money. We should have either just stayed away from the markets and been thankful for what they'd given us, or we should have just traded with smaller size and not risk all of our gains. So we gave all of our gains back. So we went back to VERU. So VERU been good to us for the last couple of weeks. We had a little bit of a loss yesterday, but it's been good to us for the last couple of weeks. So we saw this moving up. I think we picked it up about 350, about 10 minutes into the bell, or 10 minutes to the close, did I say? And that's when we entered. So we took a position here at around the $0.50 level for the break of the $0.50. We took a position there. We got the little bit of a pullback and the move up towards the VWAP. We took some profit off at 1160s, and we added and took profit at 1170s, and we was holding that into the close, and it then closed down. We were actually about $1,000 up on this one at this stage, and then we got into the close, and as you can see here, we actually got filled. This is the problem with the close, with limit orders in particular as well. It's moving down, and we got filled. Price never actually got there, but we got filled there. So unfortunately, the markets weren't good to us on this particular trade. We still made some profit, $275, which covered some of the deficit that we'd accrued with Sono. So SEV wiped out the profits. We made a little bit back with VERU. Then we moved to Tesla, and Tesla's earnings call was scheduled for 90 minutes after the market closed. But they released the earnings report as the market closed. So straight away, we started to get a move up, and we got a really good move up. And considering it was after hours, we got a good volume with it as well. And it moved all the way up to pretty much the previous closing price. It had been red all day as a result of following the NASDAQ movement. The NASDAQ that was severely impacted by the sell-off from Netflix. But this had been in the red all day, as a lot of tech stocks were. Then it pulled back towards the VWAP. And I was thinking, okay, I was waiting for a pullback so I could get in and safe entry. Pulled all the way back to the VWAP. I could, in theory, have bought for a bounce on the VWAP with a very tight risk there as it started to move up. But I didn't. I wanted to wait until we got some confirmation. We bought in at $1,018. It moved back up to the strike green price, if you will, the yesterday's closing price, and then started to pull back again. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll double down at that price, 1,018. I know that it's going to go up. I'd set my target at 1,040. I figured I'll go one to one with this one in terms of risk versus reward. If it drops below 1,000, I'll get out. If it goes to where I think it's going to go, we will not only will we make back the money that we lost with SEV, we'll potentially look at a bit of a profit as well. So it then started to consolidate. It started to move upwards slowly but surely. And when we're getting towards the top of the hour, it broke above that green level. So it went from red to green on the day, and we had that little pullback. It tested it as support, then moved up. It moved all the way up to a high of 1046, 1047 nearly, or a cent away from 1047 before it then started to pull back. At this stage, we're in good shape. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll take profit at the first candle to make a new low, and that was here. We took profit there. We took half of our position off, which was, say, 70 shares. It came back down and it started to look like it was going to sell off. So that's when we exited the position. And we finished a little over $3,000 to the good on that particular trade. That left us on the day 3,100 to the good. So we've had a $3,000 day, $3,000 green day. And that for me, considering we were $4,000 up, so kicking myself a little bit, but it's a good turnaround, and that's all you really want. If you finish green, it's a good day. I think after giving back so much of the profits on those full flag fakeouts because I went in too big a size, being a little bit too aggressive, too greedy, and giving back all the profits, that was a little bit silly, and it's a mistake that you can avoid by scaling back as you move throughout the day. Very rarely do you get bigger wins the later in the day it comes. It's only that Tesla is one of those very popular stocks with a very popular CEO. I don't think he calls himself a CEO, but Tesla is one of those very popular stocks that once I started reading the report as it was released and I saw the way the market was reacting to it, I felt secure that it was going to not only go green, but we were going to get a good 15, 20 points on it. And that we did. So I was happy with today's trading overall, just the one trade that let us down out of the 5. And with that, a 80% accuracy rating on trade selection today. And I can't be more happier. So we will be going in. We started today with just shy of 24,000. So we'll be going into Thursday with a equity position of 27,000. And if we have a similar day like we did today, we'll then be green on the month by the end of tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be able to maintain that for next week and make some good profits next week that we can actually be happy with. So right now, yeah, I'm finishing green. We're green on the day. It's a very strange day when you consider how Netflix sold off so much. It was kind of 35% down, how it affected the wider market as a whole. And then to see one of those tech stocks, one of the very popular tech stocks in Tesla, come good at the end for us. It was what I would consider a trading roller coaster day. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the trade recap. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow before the market opens as we go live again and trade live as we do every single trading day. See you there.